actually what happened, they put her out the car and just domed her. Like, they just, wow. What's up, guys? It's V2 and Issa. We here to react to another one. Today, we doing a video reacting to 5 TikTokers that pissed off the wrong cartels. So let's get to it.
This is famous TikToker Sabrina Duran Montero, a few months before she was shot dead in broad daylight for messing with one of Chile's most ruthless drug cartels.
See, that's the problem right there. Why do people think it's okay to just go and mess around with the cartels? You know the cartels don't really care about you, right? They don't care about themselves. They don't care about nothing. So why would you even try to mess with them? Like, that's the last thing I'm ever going to do is mess around with any cartel or gangs, because I like my life and I'm not trying to lose it doing some dumb things, you know? So let's see what she did.
October 23rd, 2023. Duran Montero was murdered in southwest Santiago by 2 cartel sicarios.
Wow.
For pissing off their bosses with her TikTok videos.
So she made TikTok videos that got her murdered. They got her gone. I wonder what was in the videos, man. Let's find out.
However, the journey to her cruel demise began back in May 2022, when a massive operation led by the Investigative Police of Chile, aka the PDI, resulted in the arrest of Sabrina Duran Montero and her brothers for their involvement in a drug business operating in the city of Peñaflor. Aside from being a TikToker, Sabrina was the head of a drug trafficking organization, which was under—
okay, so she wanted to be TikTok famous while doing illegal stuff. So she out here being a leader of a gang herself, and then she also was like, let me get on TikTok, let me dance around while I'm committing crimes. That's crazy work. It's crazy work.
Under scrutiny for its roles in drug collection, distribution, and sales. However, in Las Praderas, her organization was at war with another crime syndicate. This bitter rivalry left this small town in a shadowy reflection of what it used to be, with residents living in perpetual fear of the carnage that could sprout out from any corner. It in turn forced the Chilean government to launch an onslaught on these criminal organizations, deploying 100 detectives to conduct a raid.
Listen, if y'all lived in a country that was like, you know, that had a lot of cartels, would y'all join the police or like the army? Would y'all join that? Because I feel like that's like a dangerous job, to be like a police officer in a place where it has cartels, because they don't care who you are. They don't care if you got a badge. In fact, I feel like having a badge is even a bigger reason for them to like murk you, for real. I personally, I'm not gonna be anywhere near that. I'll like, if I hear the cartel coming in, I'm moving out. We leaving.
Raid on every corner, every street, and every home. Consequently, Sabrina Duran Montero was arrested as she attempted to jump through the back window of her little hideout. She was charged with crimes relating to narcotics distribution, but putting Sabrina behind bars was literally pushing her one step closer to her grave. During her 3-year sentence, Sabrina found herself immersed in the world of TikTok as one of its biggest influencers.
Wait. So she got 3 years in prison and she was doing TikToks in jail? That's crazy. I was asking earlier, if you lived in a country that had like the cartels, like they were strong, like they had strong cartel presence, would you be a police officer or would you join the army or anything like that?
She had more than 610,000 followers on her TikTok account.
So anybody can get famous. Why not me, huh? If a person in jail can get famous and have 676,000 followers, why can't I get famous, huh? Why can't I get 676,000 followers, huh? Come on now. I'm not doing nothing illegal. You feel me? I'm just chilling. Big chilling out here, you know? Let's get it. Let's run up the numbers. Run up the numbers, yeah. Run up the numbers, yeah. You know, let's run them up.
Under the username @Katrina Guzman, seemingly a reference to notorious Joaquin El Chapo Guzman.
Yeah,
another alias used by her was La Ina, the TikTok narco queen, in reference to her little business venture. And yes, I'm just as confused as you as to how she managed to maintain that account while incarcerated.
Yes, exactly. How did that happen? Like, who? I mean, I guess nowadays it must not be hard for people to have phones and stuff in jail, but like, because literally everybody got a phone. Everybody getting on live. Everybody getting on Instagram, Facebook. You know, like posting pictures, clean pictures from jail and stuff, but she posting whole TikTok. She made a whole TikTok brand while she in jail though. You know, that's, I mean, hey, I don't know that. I guess we'll call that dedication.
But all we can say is that Sabrina had her ways. She also tried having her way when she attempted a botched prison escape by breaking and jumping through the third-floor window of her cell. However, she was caught and sent right back in. But you won't believe the path she took when she was let out on supervised probation.
Gonna get somewhere.
No, exquisito. Que te sintiera muy rico. Muy rico. Exquisito.
Sabrina.
So y'all really like stuff like that? So I'm gonna start buying stuff just so I can smell it and be like, oh, it smells good. It's exquisite. Oh my God, yes, I tried this. It's awesome. You think I'm gonna get somewhere? Welcome back. Hope you wasn't gone too long. But yeah, still reacting. But yeah, this lady right here, apparently she's in prison, and she got famous on TikTok, making TikTok videos in prison while she was in prison for like 3 years or something. If she could do it, we could do it, right? Isn't that the goal?
Sabrina became an influencer, but not just any influencer. She was the kind showcasing plenty of gold jewelry and designer items. To us viewers, it looked like she was living her best life, but to Sabrina, she knew she was in danger. Why, you ask? Well, because her users began glorifying her and her double life as a narco queen and TikTok star.
Yeah, so yeah, she was like a head of a narco gang, I guess. And they caught her. They locked her up for like 3 years. She got famous on TikTok. Then she got out and she started, she was still doing her TikTok things, but I guess people was like, oh, you one of the biggest, probably, hyping her up. And like, cartels, they don't like that. They don't like to see other people be hyped up. Like, cause then they're like, oh, y'all trying to take away from our power, trying to claim that she got more power than us. So we gotta show you guys that who's the real boss. That's why we don't mess with the cartels.
It shone light on her underground operations and her lifestyle, while making the thousands of people who watched her want to dive into this catastrophic career path. This made Sabrina a huge target, not only to her rivals, but to the Chilean government and her own group. It all pointed to one.
Oh, wow. So, see, this is why they say there's no honor amongst thieves, because they see you doing good for yourself. They in your same, they're like you in the same crew, and they now they mad at you. Well, why you being famous? Why everybody like you? Why they don't like us? So they gonna backstab you. They gonna in the back while you're not paying attention. While you out here worried about your getting TikTok famous. Does TikTok give people a lot of money though? I don't know. We're gonna find out. It's only a matter of time, guys. We're gonna find out.
One truth and one truth only. Sabrina Duran Montero needed to go. On the day of the incident,
they was like, we gonna make sure she disappear. She ain't coming back. Oh, she think she gonna get famous? Why she in a gang? Nope, crazy.
Sabrina was driving to a nail salon while she was stopped by 3 sicarios. She was forced out of her vehicle and shot 8 times.
Oh, wow.
A bystander captured the moment on camera, showing the high and mighty Sabrina bleed.
And they did it on camera? Oh, wow. I mean, I thought this was just a reenactment. So this actually what happened? They put her out the car and just domed her. Like, they just, wow. See? It's the problem. That's why, me personally, I don't think I'm going to be going to, like, countries south of the border. Not saying there's anything wrong with it, but me personally, I just don't think I want to be anywhere close to that situation. I value my life, so I'm not going to try to endanger it. So I'm not going nowhere near there. If I'm going on vacation, I'm going to go fly overseas somewhere. I feel like it might be a little safer for me. Who knows? Could be wrong, but that's probably where I'm going to go.
Bleeding helplessly to death on the ground. The massacres then drove her car away from the murder scene and burned it to ashes a few miles away. Ambulances were called and
they shot her. They took her car. They're like, we gonna take your car. We gonna burn your car. But why? Like, they for evidence? I don't know, because I don't even think there was even in the car. So they took her car. They drove it away, burned it. For what? I'm confused. I guess they didn't want anybody that she knows driving her car anymore.
Sabrina was taken to the hospital, but she had lost so much blood on the way that she died en route.
Oh,
As of right now, no arrests have been made in connection to the murder.
Y'all think they're gonna catch them? Y'all think they're gonna catch the people who did it? I feel like the police in this situation, they probably know who did it, but they wanted her gone too. So it'd be like, you know, when a gangster or like, yeah, when a gangster dies, usually the police don't really do their job to try to find who the killer is because they're like, oh, good riddance. Let them take each other out so we got less work to do and shit. It really be like that.
Murder, and the Chilean police have been unable to identify any motive. This could mean Sabrina just
And they said they couldn't identify a motive for her. I mean, come on, y'all just said the police wanted her gone. Her own cartel, like her own group wanted her gone, and other syndicates wanted her gone. So I mean, I feel like that's plenty of motives there, but true.
Might be one of hundreds killed by rampant cartel and gang violence the media never tells us about.
Exactly. That's an everyday ongoing thing.
May 20.
Every day, like that's an everyday ongoing thing over there. So that's why, like I said, it's dangerous to live there. If you have the option not to live there, you shouldn't. Not a lot of people got that option, but if you get that option, you shouldn't. I don't know. In my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion.
21st, 2019. Indian TikTok star Mohit Moore was sitting in a photocopy shop, scrolling through his smartphone.
Oh, they got I didn't know they had Indian cartels. Do they got Indian cartels too? Or was he living somewhere else? Cause that's crazy if they got Indian cartels, but let's find out.
When two young men barged in wearing helmets. They pointed two guns at him and fired so many bullets into his body that his teeth were even found in pieces.
What did he do? What could he have done to get shot so many times where your teeth get shot off into pieces? Like not just your teeth get shot off, but they get shot off into pieces. Two different pieces. Like just imagine how many shots that is. They shredded him. What's the saying? They Swiss cheesed him? Yeah, that's what they did. They put holes in him, basically, yeah.
When the police came, this tragic incident was the result of two factors. More.
Boy, look at him. He think he that guy for real. He got the duck. He trying to do the duck face. He trying to be Drake. Bro, I'm so tired of Drake always doing that. Every time in his pictures, he got to do the duck face. Bro, no, you're not a child. You're not a little girl, bro. You're not like 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old girl. Stop trying to do the duck face. That's for them. You need to leave that shit alone. You like 30-something, almost 40, probably 40 by now. But leave that, bro. Leave that alone. That duck face is not cute. It don't make you look good. First of all, it don't make you look masculine when you're doing that, you know? So I don't even know why, but he got his hair. He's trying to be, everybody, any of you guys ever watch Twilight? He's the guy. He's the vampire in Twilight. He's trying to be the vampire in Twilight. So he got his hair is spiked up. His face. And then the only thing he needs now is the sparkle on his face from the light. Yeah. Hey, my apologies. Rest in peace, but man.
Moore's TikTok fame and his relation to one of India's most ruthless gangs.
Oh, so they do got gangs up there.
Moore was a gym instructor and famous TikToker in the small town of Najafgarh, Delhi. Before his death, he had amassed over 500,000 followers.
Everybody
in a
with all these followers,
time of just 8 months. And to the average TikToker, that's an almost impossible feat to accomplish. But to Moore, it was just the beginning of his end. April 3rd, 2019.
What'd he do?
A court in India banned the use of TikTok on the grounds of making its young users vulnerable to abuse. Now this ban.
Oh wow! So they banned it. See, they try to ban it in the U.S., but then the guy who shall not say his name, he unbanned it. Man, I'm not gonna lie to you. Joe Biden ain't never did nothing for us. He ain't doing nothing for us. Like he was a useless president. To be honest, I ain't gonna lie. But the guy we got in here now, I ain't gonna say too much about him because I'm not trying to get deported. Even though I'm a citizen, who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen with this guy? So I'm a citizen, but you never know. They don't care. But I'm not trying to say too much. But hey, look, at least he unbanned TikTok. That's the one good thing he did for us. Now everything else, shoo.
ban was lifted a few weeks later. However, some people felt the need to put an end to the vices caused by this Chinese-owned app, beginning with its major influencers. Moore didn't really fit into this criteria, but his influence on young Indians was very overwhelming. His persona of a Haryanvi bad boy with a good heart was
Boy, he tried to, bro. Hey, you know, have you guys ever watched any Indian movies? Man, and I tell you, Indian movies are the best. They're so funny, but their action is so crazy. Somebody gonna get punched, right? He get punched. He gonna do 8 backflips in the air. Land on top of a car, pick up he gonna land on top of the car, pick up another car on top of him, throw it at the person, and the other person gonna kick it. That's probably a realistic scene in the Indian movie. Like, I ain't gonna lie, because they're hilarious, you know. But I like Indian movies though. I ain't watched one in a while, but they're funny. They're definitely funny. And he trying to act like one of
was
them.
close to his real self.
What is that? What are you doing, boy?
And he labored to make every post better than the last. More emotion, more entertainment,
If y'all like what y'all seen, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff, all right? But let's get back to it.
more everything. In one skit, he got out of his car and offered his expensive shoes to a homeless guy who had broken his slippers. In others, he would sing, dance.
Look, if there's one thing I don't like, it's people who be doing good deeds on camera, you know? Like, I get it, you want to help somebody, but why you gotta record them? Because, like, that first, number one, you're exposing them. Like, maybe they don't want to be exposed for being broke. Number two, you doing a good deed, but like you showing it out. So are you doing the good deed for the good deed itself, or you just doing it so other people can see it? So like you can be like, oh my God, he's such a good person. Oh, he gave out his shoes and shit like that. No, if you're gonna do something for somebody, do it in private. You know, don't be showing people off like when you giving them stuff. Don't be posting about that. Like, don't be like, oh, have a camera all up in their face. Hey, take this. See, I'm helping you out. See how I'm helping you out. Take this. I'm helping you out. I hate that. You know, I don't like that. Like, if y'all gonna help somebody out, just do it the right way. Help them out in private, and don't try to use them for a publicity stunt.
And share jokes and show off his gym-built body. The point was to keep up the pace, and thousands of people were watching his videos. Some would even recognize him on the streets. Wherever he went, in Najafgarh or Dwarka, people asked him for selfies. Girls and boys wanted to be in his videos, until something interesting occurred.
Yeah, what happened? What was the thing that was so interesting that occurred that changed all of this? Did he go and disappear for 100 years like Aang?
Mohit Moore had helped a friend invest 30 rupee lakh in property through a criminal property dealer named Mangu.
How much is that? Is that a lot of money? Let me see. We're going to find out. How much is 30 rupee lakh in US dollars? That's 35 cents, so that can't be right. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that can't be right, because there's no way. You can't die from 35 cents. I don't think people are going to kill each other for 35 cents.
In property through a criminal property dealer named Mangu. Mangu had a chain of legit businesses, but underground he was a crime boss with a lot of enemies. One of whom was a drug lord named Dalal. Now, out of spite, Dalal ordered the assassination of Mangu, putting an end to his empire. But what Dalal didn't know was that Mangu wasn't the head of his criminal organization. It was another man named Pehelwani. So after Mangu's death, Pehelwani took over everything he had, including his mainstream properties. Now at this point, Moore and his friend occupied one property formerly owned by Mangu, while Moore failed to make the 30 rupee lakh payment he was supposed to. Pehelwani pressured Moore to pay up, but he refused, insisting that he owed Mangu and not him. This left him with
Okay, see, that's dumb. That's dumb, because if you owe somebody money that's in a gang, right? And he dies, he gets killed. You think your debt is paid off? You think you don't gotta pay that shit no more? He's in a gang. It's not him by himself. He's not a solo dolo entrepreneur. You get? He's not a solo business owner. There is a gang behind him. So if you owe him money, you owe the gang money. Okay? So if he dies and the next person comes up, hey, you gotta pay me the money that you had the money that you was paying him, you gotta pay that shit to me, and you say, nah, I ain't paying you. I was supposed to pay him. They murder him. What makes you think they won't murder you? That's crazy. But let's keep going.
With no other option than to order the murder of Mohit Moore.
All right.
According to reports, this teen was recruited by Pelwani after he pestered the crime lord to take him under his wing. To prove himself, Pelwani sent him along with another soldier of his to find Moore. When they got to his location, they emptied over a dozen bullets into his body.
So he didn't want to pay up, and it's like, oh, you not trying to pay up? You not trying to pay your boy? Okay, well, I'm going to send you somebody. I'm going to send me some assassins to your house, and we just going to, do what we got to do. And that's why you don't do deals with gangs. Don't do deals with gangs. You don't do any type of association or dealing with gangs, because what's the likely outcome? You're going to end up dead, probably. So stay away from gangs, guys.
Scene for the police. In the end, the teenager was arrested and charged with first-degree murder.
And look, and the kid wanted to join the gang so bad, then they used him so he could go commit murder, and now he's gonna spend probably the rest of his life in jail. So what did he gain? All he gained was a body and a jail sentence. So there's no benefit.
While Pelwani fled Delhi, knowing the cops would stop at nothing to bring him down.
And the person who did who hired the hitman, he ran. He got away scot-free. See, that's why, like, when you join a gang, the leaders of the gang usually gonna have no problem. They're not gonna do all the crimes themselves. So why? Of course, nothing's gonna happen to them probably. But the people who are the underlings, they do all the crime. They get sent to do everything, and that's the problem. They end up doing all the time.
Rodolfo Marquez, also known as Fofo Marquez.
Rodolfo Marquez, also known as Fofo. Hey, yo. Fofo, before this Fofo put the whole hole in you. I'm just kidding. That was not funny. That's not funny. That's not funny. All right, I'm sorry. Come for me. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Marquez is a controversial Mexican influencer who has millions of followers across his platform. Born on July 15, 1997, Fofo was...
See, he 3 years younger than me. I'm an old person. But it's cool, though.
Undoubtedly born into a wealthy family. There's not a lot of information on his family background, but from what we know, his grandfather made shoes for high-profile dignitaries in Mexico, while his father was one of the owners of Total...
It's funny, like, they giving us the whole life stories, like his grandfather was a shoemaker, his father was a local politician, a gas station owner, all of this.
Gas station before he passed away. It's obvious he came from a wealthy background, as he poses with luxurious cars, going to clubs with his friends, and living that dream life in Mexico.
Rich man, would you want to be rich in Mexico or poor in America? Let me ask. If you had to pick one, what would you choose?
Now, it was because he was sharing his lifestyle on social media that he did garner more than 3 million Instagram followers, making him what those Gen Zs call an influencer. However,
he's an influencer, influencing the young kids to do dumb things.
Fo's fame on IG wasn't enough. He decided to navigate his way to TikTok, where he did establish a fan base, but also began getting himself in trouble. A lot of people had eyes on him and, of course, wanted to bring him down. But Fofo didn't.
See, they can never see you happy. If you're happy, you doing things for yourself, you just enjoying life, there's always going to be somebody who's like, why can't that be me? Why he doing that? And I'm out here stuck, not doing nothing. You know what? Since it can't be me, I'm gonna go do something to him. That's the problem. Like, that's why, like, when you get famous, they say you gotta move from where you're from, because the people, like, in your neighborhood or the people who've been knowing you, they're the one who's gonna resent you the most, and they're the ones who's most likely to do something to you.
He had a huge ego and felt he was untouchable. But all that ego came crashing down the moment he messed with one of Mexico's deadliest cartels, the New Jalisco Generation Cartel.
I heard they don't mess around. Because I've seen a lot of videos, and they're always talking about them. So anything, y'all do not need to mess with them. Do not say nothing negative about them. In fact, I'm not going to say nothing negative about them. Me personally, I like my life, like I said.
We'd be doing you a huge injustice if we didn't talk about the severity of this crime syndicate and their ruthless methods.
Exactly.
See, once you're aware of their operations, you'll understand why anyone, even someone as seemingly insignificant as a TikToker, would face serious danger by crossing paths with them.
Exactly. Like, you don't want to be anywhere near them at all, ever. Ever. Like, literally, you don't want that. If you ever happen to be around them, boy, you better pray. You better hope and pray. Because no.
We are the new group, Mata Zetas, and we're against kidnapping and extortion, and we will fight them in all states for a cleaner Mexico. Now, those words were written in a note by the CJNG back in June 2009 after they executed 3 Mexicans and dumped their bodies in a truck.
Wow, so they killed 3 people, and then they say, we don't do no kidnappers. We don't like kidnappers. So you think murder, I ain't gonna say too much. I'm just saying, like, is murder better than kidnapping? I don't think so, but hey.
Within a larger cartel. However, the CJNG swiftly demonstrated its menace by executing 35 members of rival cartels, discarding.
Oh my God. That's why I say, if there's a prominent presence of the cartel in a certain place, you don't want to be there. Because they don't care. They actually don't give no fucks. They got 0 Fs to give. They will take your life and go on about their business. It's like, you know, drinking water is like a daily habit. Like, you got to drink water to survive. For them, murder is like water. They need that.
Their bodies in various vehicles along the Mexican highway. The cartel's leader, Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, better known as El Mencho, has gained a notorious reputation, as some may call him the devil in human form. Born on July...
Some may call him that, but I didn't. I didn't say nothing. I ain't say nothing. As y'all can see, I didn't say nothing.
17th, 1966. El Mencho emerged from a farming family of 6 siblings, and despite this background, he diverged early, seeking a more ambitious and nefarious path to success, one marked by the stain of cocaine in the blood of Mexicans.
Man, look, guys. Just stay away. I'm just gonna keep saying this. Stay away from them, because you're not gonna get anything good. Nothing good's gonna come with you saying anything negative about them or associating with them in any type of form or way.
And then in the U.S., where he continued his criminal pursuits. However, he was deported back to Mexico after a Texas-based gang-related sentence. Now, upon his return, El Mencho joined the Milenio cartel as an assassin. However, the cartel's subsequent fragmentation led him to ally with the Sinaloa cartel
I see. So he came to America. So he was in here. He got caught. They deported him, and then he became an assassin. Oh yeah.
Subgroup under Ignacio Nacho Coronel. Now here he managed drug operations, finances, and violence in the Mexican states of Colima and Jalisco. But after a few more years, he took charge of half the group, renaming it to Cartel de Jalisco Nueva Generacion, or the Jalisco New Generation.
He took over a cartel. So just think about it, okay? If he could take over a cartel, you know what it takes to take over a cartel, huh? And y'all want to make jokes, clown him, and say things? Yeah, see, that's the problem. You're not learning. You're supposed to learn from other people's mistakes, so yeah, don't make the same one, you know? You got to learn from other people's mistakes. They say a smart man learns from his mistake. A wise man learns from the mistakes of others. Be wise.
Cartel. With El Mencho at the helm, the CJNG evolved into one of the globe's most violent criminal entities, donning military-grade equipment that could be mistaken for official Mexican military. They're bad, they're pretty cruel, and they're not to be messed with. So what exactly did Fofo Marquez do to piss off this extremely powerful and corrupt
let's find out what he did.
Just like almost every TikToker out there, subjected to posting daily videos to keep their followers entertained, Fofo was doing the same. But this time, he decided to do something not many have ever done in Mexico. So on July 7th, 2022, Fofo would take 3 luxury cars and park him in the middle of Matute Rima's Spring.
Oh yeah, I think I heard about this. He parked his cars and he said nobody gonna pass through.
In Guadalajara, Mexico. He came down from one of those cars and started filming the traffic that was building up right behind him. He would say things like, "We have closed it for ourselves. This is what I want to demonstrate, what money and power can do." Literally.
Yeah, that's dumb. That's dumb. Like, you gonna block the highway. You know what they use to traffic You know what the cartel used to traffic their drugs and stuff? What do you think they use? They use vehicles, right? So if you block the vehicles of the people who traffic, what do you think is gonna happen?
Illuminati. He went on to brag about how he shut down that bridge for several minutes and how all the cars were honking. He even contemplated doing some TikTok dances while innocent people were just denied access to the bridge. He posted this on TikTok, and it wouldn't take long for that video to go viral. A lot of people.
Of course it went viral because people like seeing stuff like that, like people doing dumb things. But then the consequences come like, oh my God, I could not believe it. Why would they do it? He was such a young, nice boy. He ain't never did nothing to nobody. Oh, wow. So he did it for a TikTok stunt and they banned his account. So what did he gain? He gained a threat for charges. He not making no money from the video because they took it down and canceled your whole account. So you wanted to do a stunt. Now you lost your whole Instagram, TikTok account, and you could have been making money from that. 1.4 million followers. Imagine losing your 1.4 million follower account. All that work you put into it, all gone because you wanted to do some stupid stuff.
Just when the smoke for his stupid video had gone down, the CJ&G reignited the entire case with a message sent to Fofo Marquez. That message went viral on social media, and it was from an anonymous account named Gente con la Gente, NG. Translating to people with the new generation. The message was also written in Spanish, but it roughly translates to, hello to all the people of Guadalajara. We are the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. As you might know, the influencer or scumbag Fofo Marquez dared to obstruct the...
Imagine if the cartel writes you a note. They like, hey boy, we see what you did. Do that shit again, boy. Do that shit again, see what happened. What y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna shit y'all pants? Y'all gonna pee on yourself? What y'all doing? Cause me personally, I'm moving the hell out. I ain't never coming back. If I got family over there, either they coming with me or I'm leaving them there, but I ain't staying.
The flow of traffic on the Matute Remus Bridge, which is an act that we do not tolerate. Will not allow this animal to get away with this. We are in charge of Jalisco and all of Mexico. We would not allow you to come to Guadalajara and do this type of thing. If you ever stepped in Guadalajara, not you nor your money would save you from us.
So they basically said, listen, just so you were clear, if you ever come to our city again, it's a wrap for you. Ain't nothing gonna save you from us. And that's a threat, but that's not even a threat. That's actually a promise because you know they gonna follow through with that shit without no doubt. If they say they're gonna do something and you call their bluff, they're not bluffing. They never bluff. They're telling you the truth. They're gonna do what they say they're gonna do. So for them telling you, do never ever in your life come to Guadalajara ever again, you better listen to that shit, boy. You better not go. You better not go. That better be your first and last time going over there.
Now, seeing how El Mencho and the CJ&G as a whole are driven by intense violence, it could have been anyone who wrote that message to Fofo Marquez. Members of the CJ&G believe that El Mencho should be feared and worshipped by Mexicans. So Fofo pulling such a stunt in a town under direct control of this person was an insult to El Mencho and his authority. Fofo's undoubtedly wealthy, but where his wealth stops is where the CJ&G begins. These guys rake in billions annually and control a significant portion of the Mexican.
Exactly. He think he rich, but he ain't richer than the cartel. He's not richer than them. So whatever security he could get, they could get killers more than them.
Government. Their message terrified Fofo because he knew no one could protect him if the CJ&G decided to actually kill him. Once that message circulated, things got real. The CJ&G doesn't make jokes, and Fofo knew this. He tendered an apology immediately and ran back to his parents' mansion in Mexico to seek refuge. But
Exactly. He did the right thing. You gotta apologize like expeditiously, like T.I. said. Make sure that apology is so sincere. You better have tears in your eyes while you're apologizing. I don't know what I was doing. I was so stupid. I thought I was smart, but I'm dumb. Please, God, I won't do it again. You know, you gotta apologize. Like, see, I can't even do it. But like, you gotta be so sincere in your apology, boy. You better, cause they not playing.
This mansion gonna help him? Well, the family would hire armed security to guard him 24/7. But even with that, Fofo wasn't safe. These people have taken down the deadliest cartel hitman squads and even battalions of the Mexican army in the past. So
if they
really
want
no amount of security is gonna do anything.
If they want you, they gonna get you. They just didn't want him, like, for real. They just warned him. But if they wanted him, he was already gone. we would be saying R.I.P. right now.
Fofo was getting scared. He couldn't leave his house for days. He stayed away from windows to avoid sniper attacks. He even carried a transceiver around so he could communicate if he was in danger. After a few months, Fofo finally returned to his life, but his actions against the authority of the CJ&G altered the course of his life till today. However, as crazy as that sounds, this next one had the guts to insult El Mencho directly.
So how stupid you gotta be to actually insult the leader of a cartel? A cartel that's known for their violence, and you insult their leader, the person they hold most highly to them.